Welcome into the In the Money podcast for Saturday, May 11th. Tom Leach along with Jim Goodman from Keeneland. Going to take a look at the Belmont card, which features a Grade 1, the Man of War, at 1 3/8 on the turf, and we'll take a look at the late pick 4 as well. And I will tell you up front, as this is taped, there is the program numbers are actually not out yet in the racing form, so make sure you focus on the names that we give you. And match those up to make sure the program numbers are correct. But, Jim, let's start in the Man of War, 1 3/8 on the turf. Who do you like?
I like Zulu Alpha. I lost a little money on Zulu Alpha in the Elkhorn here at Keeneland. I think the horse really needed the race. Been off about 6 weeks, but didn't run that bad. They only got beat a length to Bigger Picture. Bigger Picture ran him down in the stretch, and Zulu Alpha comes from out of it. There was a yielding turf course that day. Hopefully Belmont won't get rain for Saturday, and this will be a firm course. And I think he'll do well either way. But I like him. I liked him a lot in the Elkhorn, and I like him not quite as much in the Man of War. He's taken a big step up to another Grade 1, but I still like him. Magic Wand, Aidan O'Brien's horse that he brings over from Dubai. Ran in the Pegasus World Cup turf back in January at Gulfstream, got a 103 buyer, and ran the Breeders' Cup Billy Mare turf. So she's obviously fits right there. And then Focus Group for Chad Brown, just because Focus Group is trained by Chad Brown. I get tired of picking horses, but I'm not going to let him beat me. So going 3 deep there. Hunting Horn probably isn't what he used to be. I think just hadn't gotten back to that form where he was running in the Grade 1s a year ago at Arlington and Belmont. Arklow is a question mark here. He got a really bad break when he was unprepared, or the starter had a hold of him, whichever way I'm sure that Florent Giroux would remember that the starter had a hold of him, and he didn't get out of the gate. He dropped Giroux on his pants. So Arklow may redeem himself here. Channel Maker may have a shot. Again, he's not what he was in 2018, at least yet in the first couple races of 2019. I'm thinking Zulu Alpha might be a decent bet here. Magic Wand, the filly, scares me a little bit, but going to stick with the Mike Maker horse, the 2-horse Zulu Alpha.
I'm going to take Arklow here, and the reason goes back to an interview that I did with Brad Cox for Keeneland's social media during the meet ahead of that one start at Keeneland. And he was just gushing about how well the horse was doing, and then lost all chance coming out of the gate, and then has had a couple of really sharp works. The last one, 48 flat, was I think the best of 28, or excuse me, third best of 28. So looks like he's continued to work well, fresh, and Brad Cox's horses are firing at Belmont. So I'm going to take Arklow to get a little bit of a price here. I like Magic Wand, Zulu Alpha, and Focus Group. I'm probably going to end up leaving one of them out when we get to the pick 4 to make the ticket affordable. But I'm going to take Arklow and try to get a little bit of a price and key him with the 2, 5, and 6 in exactas. 9th race is the Run Happy Stakes, 6 furlongs, 4-year-olds and up. And I'm going to give the edge to Recruiting Ready over Firenze Fire. Recruiting Ready is best at 6 furlongs, which he gets here. Had a troubled trip last time, and it's a kind of a toss-up for me between Firenze Fire and Recruiting Ready, but I think the distance might be the key. I think that's maybe the best distance for Recruiting Ready, and I think 7 furlongs to a mile might be the ideal distance for Firenze Fire. So I'm giving the slight edge to Recruiting Ready there. Firenze Fire was just so-so in his only outing as a 3-year-old or as a 4-year-old. So certainly could move forward off that, but so could Recruiting Ready off his last race at Keeneland. So on the distance angle, I'm going to give the edge to Recruiting Ready. Could certainly add others, but I'm going to take a stand with those two when we get to the pick 4. Jim, how do you see the Run Happy Stakes?
I'm right with you. I would pick Firenze Fire, but he did not fire at Tampa at all. Off a layoff, so he probably needed that race, and it was a prep for either this one or something down the road. So because he likes Belmont, I'm going to use him, but I think Recruiting Ready is probably a better bet to win the race. He 5 for 10 at the distance, 7 for 19 lifetime, just very consistent, and a lot of positional speed. I think he Luis Saez gets him out front and hangs on here over Firenze Fire. Also going to use Skylar Scramjet just because he was so close in the Carter, which is a grade 1 at 7 furlongs, shortening back up to 6. He's 4 for 8 at distance, and if World of Trouble were in this race, World of Trouble would be 1-5, and World of Trouble beat him by half a length in the Carter. So Skylar Scramjet is a good bet in here as well. So I'm going to go 3 deep out of a 6-horse race, but I can't leave out Firenze Fire because of Belmont, and I can't leave out Skylar Scramjet because of the Carter finish. So we go 3 deep here. Recruiting Ready is my favorite, though.
You make a great point on Skylar Scramjet. I'm leaving out a couple of horses in the 2 stakes races that I think have legit chances to win, just because I can't come up with a strong opinion on the bookend legs of the pick 4. So let's go to the pick 4. A couple of turf races, a maiden mile and a 16th turf race for fillies and mares starts it, and then a state-bred maiden at 6 furlongs on the turf ends it. Give me your pick 4 ticket.
Yeah, the pick 4 ticket, I go 5 deep in the first leg, and obviously NYRA does a good job of structuring these tickets so that you can, at least for the first-time starters here, see where the money's going. So I used one first-time starter. Actually, I just used one first-time starter in here, but there's a couple others you might want to look at as the tote board gives you some ideas. But I'm going to go with 5 horses in here. Varenka, the 3, just a huge class edge, dropping out of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. Hadn't been out since November. So if you want to go deep later on, Varenka might be a single. But you got a Chad Brown firster, structural deficit that they paid $240,000 for. That's Keeneland September sale. You got Belmont, second starter, with a huge work at Belmont just 2 days ago. So Sansaria, the 5. The 10 horse, Mrs. Got Rocks for Christophe Clement, and the 12 Romantic Pursuit for Kieran McLaughlin. So this is a loaded maiden special weight. So we'll go 5 deep there, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12. In the Run Happy, and we use 2, 3, 5, the 3 horses I talked about, Skylar Scramjet, Friendspire, and Recruiting Ready. Then 3 deep in the Man of War, Zulu Alpha, the 2, Magic 1, the 5, and Focus Group, the 6. And then the last race, don't have a whole lot of money left. I want to keep it well under $100. So just going 3 deep there with Electronic, the Linda Rice horse that will probably be the favorite off that good race at Aqueduct last out. So going 4, then the 6, Keon BC, jumped way up on the buyer scale on the turf at Aqueduct last out for Charlton Baker, and the 8 horse Wicked Grin for Christophe Clement, just because it's Christophe Clement in a maiden special weight race where he's 23% when they're off from 145 to 180, second off 145 to 180 day layoff. So second back off a layoff, Christophe Clement is a very good angle there. So my pick 4 ticket, 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 with 2, 3, 5 with 2, 5, 6 with 4, 6, 8 for $67.50.
I'm going to go 3 deep in the first leg. Varenka as a class edge, certainly, but hadn't been out since last fall. Structural deficit's a first-timer, but it's Chad Brown. So I'm like you, I'm not going to let him beat me. And then Romantic Pursuit, I thought the big improvement last time, and for Kieran McLaughlin on the first time on the turf, jumped up about almost 20 buyer points. So that always catches my eye. So I'm going to throw that one in as well, just on the chance that he's moving or she's moving way up on the turf. There are some others I like, the 8, 9, and 10 I had written down, but not going to go that deep. So I'm going to go 3, 4, 12 with 3, 5 in the Run Happy, with 2, 4, 5 in the Man of War. So I'm leaving out Focus Group and very uncomfortable doing that because I want to go 6 deep in the last leg, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Because there were some those horses, the top 3 you mentioned were the first 3 I had as well. But Noble Cause, The Sinner Is You, and Dove Shoot, I could find a way to make a case for all of them. And if I'm still alive by that race, I'd hate for one of them to beat me, since I do have the ability to make a case for them. So my ticket's $54 for 50 cents, 3 by 2 by 3 by 6. And I'm leaving out Skylar Scramjet and Focus Group, and not really comfortable doing that. If you want to take maybe a stand with Varenka on the class edge and single in the first leg, with my ticket, you could do that, and then you could add those other 2 in the 2 stakes races. But I'm going to play it for the 3 by 2 by 3 by 6. Best of luck with your wagers on the Belmont card on Saturday or wherever you are playing, and we'll be back next week for Preakness weekend on the In the Money podcast for KeenelandSelect.com.